This is my first response because I know there's going to be more than one. I'm only halfway through. The podcast, episode 58, the Writing Down podcast. Sarah's talking about writing excuses versus reasons. And I think I'm pretty good at that, making excuses. Been doing it for a long time. My first novel was published. I published the ebook this January, so 3 months ago, after 26 years of having the idea floating in my head, starting and stopping, and I made these excuses, so many excuses, but I know the real reason why I didn't work on it. It's fear, and that's, but see, that's that fear is now, excuses exist in all these layers, and my fear is like the foundation of the answer to why I haven't written, or why I'm not writing right now even. It's fear, but still, that's an excuse. Even though it's a reason, it is the reason, it's an excuse per the definition that Sarah uses, because you can punch a hole in the logic. And the logic, the hole you could punch would say, there's nothing to fear. Fear is illogical. It's illogical to fear. But I fear rejection, because not everybody's going to like what I have to write. That's the truth. I shouldn't be afraid of that, but I am. I'm afraid that some people are going to see and say, I don't like this. A fear of spending time on something that I could have been spending time on earning a paycheck. As I use that as an excuse many times, why I haven't pursued any of the dreams that I've had for businesses and stuff, and why I haven't written, because I need a job with a reliable source of income. I need income now, and in 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks after that. I need something, and a little bit of something, because it's not like I've ever made a lot of money. A little bit of something is better than the hope and the possibility that there will be a lot. And I'm a pretty firm believer that if I got into the series, the Globic Tales series, and wrote those stories, and drew the illustrations that go along with them, and see creative pursuits, I think Globic Tales, I'm pretty confident that will be a full-time income. And a full-time, I will become rich, wealthy. I'll be able to help out my family. I'll be able to help out my siblings and my parents and my community. I'll be able to give money back. But there's still that little thing that I'm afraid that it won't be. And that's a little thing, but it's a big thing. It's like the princess and the pea, if I'm a princess. And the pea is just this little grain of possible. So I'm afraid of this little grain, this little possibility that my writing won't succeed. And I've let that fear run me. And it runs me, so I put excuse on it. 'Cause for a long time, I wouldn't admit that I was afraid. Well, now, I'm afraid. So I'd put excuses to cover up my fear. All those excuses can just punch. One of my favorite excuses, which can be punched wide open, is that I've been too tired doing life. I've had to do life. Everybody's had to do life. And by doing life, I mean I had to work. I had to drive. I had to help raise my kids. I had to get my wife here to there. I had to go do this and that. I had housework to do. That's life. That's all life. Everybody's got life, and everybody's got something similar. So I know that's just an excuse. But bottom line under it all is my fear. Okay, whatever. I'm just rambling at this point. So I'm going to stop this and listen to the rest of the podcast, and probably re-listen to it because even though it has truths that I already knew, it really helps to hear these things. So Sarah, thank you for doing this podcast. Thank you because what this is doing is chipping away at that little fear. It's getting me closer to really trying, really my discipline sucks. This is getting me a little closer to finding my discipline. Whenever I listen to podcasts or I do something creative. Yeah, that's all I say right now.